Welcome to Checks and Balances. I'm Michael Vincent. This is James Blair. And today, your network is your net worth for Money Month.
Okay, we're probably getting to the extent of where Checks and Balances scope is.
Yeah, we're outside of scope.
Yeah. But
I think it's important.
very true, right?
Yeah.
So the background of this one is your personal and professional relationships play a significant role in your overall success. There's the big stat around you earn the average income of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yeah, you show me your friends, I'll show you your future.
Yeah. Do you make some more money so I can earn some more money? Is that how it works? Yeah. And there's a nice quote in here that Ravi's put in. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others.
Yeah, nice.
Let's go far, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it does come down to the way that you interact with others and what you do with that network, right? And I think it's really important, especially for people who are younger in their career. My advice is get to the head office of whatever company you're at and just network the hell out of it.
Yeah.
You know, like you take example for us, where we worked in banks and branches, it is a desert out there in the branch land, man.
Especially now.
Oh yeah, like you don't see anyone, no one knows you, you can't network with anyone. So it is really important. You know, I think working from home a lot is another thing there that younger
this will be
people.
a controversial one.
No,
but I 100% agree. No,
but
it will be controversial.
Will it? Because okay, maybe. But you know, if you work from home a lot, your interaction with people is now via Zoom instead of face to face. You can't bump into people. You can't go to lunch with people. You don't hear conversations about projects that you might get involved with. You don't play cricket with people. You know, it's just there's a whole lot of stuff that you miss out on.
Yeah. If you work from home, then you wouldn't have been on the cricket team.
I wouldn't have broken my nose.
Yeah. So if we link this back to a financial plan is quite simple, right? You have income, you manage your expenses, you have money left over, and you deploy it. This piece is all about how can you build a network, be around people that inspire you, that can get your income up, help you set goals that maybe you never thought were possible for you. So, I mean, the end of the day, right, we all kind of come into this where we know nothing and we have to build a network of people that we can learn from, but also be inspired by.
Yeah. And different people approach it in different ways. And some people are really good at this and it comes naturally to them. And, you know, they have a large network, they stay in touch with that network, they foster the relationships, and it's more of a natural thing. For other people, you have to work on this. And a lot of the times people get confused because they're like, oh, well, they're my friends or they're not my friends. And how do I approach this relationship? When in reality, you need to have, you know, especially if it is a professional network, you need to really make sure you invest in those relationships.
Yeah, you might be the best at the job, but if you don't have that likability high enough, you won't get offered that next job.
Oh, absolutely.
Which comes into job opportunities as well. If you build a network where people know who you are, people want to help you, people know kind of where you're going and what you're looking for next, opportunities will fall in your lap. And they're the people that go, geez, didn't they get lucky?
Yeah.
Reality check is they did not get lucky. They built the right relationships. If you've got this great plan for the future, but nobody knows about it, you're probably going to go nowhere.
Yeah. And it's really key to be authentic in these relationships. It's not something that you're just, you know, you can't just be doing this to build a network or doing this because you think it's the right thing to do. People will see through that a mile away. You've got to be authentic. And I think that when you find commonalities between people in terms of your work, the mission that you're on, what you're trying to achieve, a lot of this becomes a lot easier.
Yeah. And the big piece, if you're starting from scratch, is kind of going, well, where do I start? The big piece is just making sure you're going to enough events. And it's very easy if you go with a buddy to sit in the corner, not talk to anybody, but you got to kind of have that old school mindset of I'm going to meet 5 people. I'm going to take 5 business cards or QR code 5 people's LinkedIn profiles, where you're slowly going to build a network over time. And it's not about straight away, how can this person help me?
Yeah.
It's about building genuine relationships. And then I promise you, if you can work out just how to add value to other people and just to give and give and give, naturally it will come back over time.
Yeah, it's a great point actually. If you are at events, if you know one person, don't just hang out with them the whole time. Don't just sit in the corner. It's very tempting, even if there's a group of you, you know, to not engage with other people, and you're sort of missing the point of a networking event or an event if you're just talking to the people you know already. And we see it sometimes with juniors, where they will just hang out with each other at events. I'm like, you gotta be out there talking to people.
The boys club.
Yeah.
can hurt your career
Mm.
if you're not kind of getting out there and talking to people off the back of it. Mentors. Let's talk about mentors. So it is, very much a stroke of the ego to be asked, hey, I see where you are. I would like to learn from you so I can be in a similar position in the future. Will you be my mentor? People love that because, it gives them self-validation. And usually when you ask, people are a lot of the time more than happy to help. So make sure that you've, do some research, build some relationships, and ask, everybody should have a mentor, especially if you're earlier in your career, so you can work out those logical next steps. Otherwise, you're just going to be like kind of in the bumper bars, bouncing back and forth in a far more inefficient way than if you've got somebody going, well, why are you doing this instead of doing that? Or don't talk to this person, talk to that person.
Yeah, and if you are looking for a mentor, I challenge you to find one who it's not, I just think we'd be friends or I think we'd get along. Your mentor needs to be someone who is going to give you proper guidance, who maybe has strengths in areas where you don't, and who has probably a network themselves that you can use to leverage.
When I set up the wealth business, I had a mentor where I left every single conversation frustrated. And I was like, oh, this person's so negative. And they were always thinking about the worst case because I'm the eternal optimist. But you need those people that compliment you. And instead of going, oh, James, you're absolutely right. This is all going to be a raging success. Well, have you thought about this? And what if this doesn't play out? And if you're like me, you'll get frustrated, but you go home and you'll think about it more and hopefully you'll make less mistakes.
Yep.
Personal benefits. So, Mike, obviously, if you've got kind of good relationships, you've got that emotional support for when things don't go right.
Yeah, and it's like, I guess with any network, again, if they are genuine relationships, you can kind of lean on people when things aren't going well. And people are often a little bit tentative to do that. But actually, like, if you think about it first from the perspective of yourself and someone coming to you for help, if things weren't going so well, generally people are just happy to help.
Yeah. And the other bit is a lot of this is going to get close to like Tony Robbins, if you believe you can achieve BS. But if I do believe that like our reality and how we look at how our future is based a lot about like what we think and how we perceive things, which will build the future that either you want or you don't want. If the saying, if you think you can do something or you can't do something, both you're right in both situations. But if you are building a network where people are thinking bigger than you and going and doing exciting things, that will open your mindset up in terms of what might be possible for you.
Yep. And keep an eye out for James's spin-off podcast, Manifesting Mindset with James Blair.
Now it's going to be Live, Laugh, Play. Cool. Mike, quality over quantity. So you don't need 1,000 people in your network. You just need to have depth of relationships.
Yeah, look, again, you spread yourself too thin. It's like the relationships become transactional. They stop being authentic. You just need to build key relationships with good people. And that is far better than just being, everyone knows you, but you're kind of flaky on it all.
Yeah. And another big piece is in terms of maintaining and nurturing those relationships. It's not like a one-off thing where you have a chat with somebody and then you kind of, that's part of your network and you've got a professional relationship with trust going forward. There has to be investment over a long period of time to build trust and then making sure that you stay in touch.
Yeah. And, the easiest way to reach out to people is LinkedIn. It takes 5 seconds to click and add someone on LinkedIn. But again, just adding someone on LinkedIn doesn't necessarily mean that you're in their network. And again, if you're relying on kind of social media or LinkedIn for networking, you have to be active on that platform. You can't just add people and then expect them to know who you are and remember you. You've got to be active. You've got to be in their face. You've got to be using that tool correctly. So again, a great tool. You just need to make sure you nail it.
And remember with LinkedIn, for example, only 1% of people on LinkedIn post. So one hell of an opportunity to be one of those people.
Yep.
So we're going to wrap it up there. In terms of actions off the back of this one, it's really all going back and writing down how strong is your network and your relationships to help you get where you want to be in terms of your financial plan. And if you aren't where you want to be, what are 3 or 4 actions that you can take to get ahead? So it might be, lining up some coffees with people you haven't spoken to in a while, organizing a few social events, adding some people on LinkedIn, starting to post more often.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining. Please give us a sub, review, and like, and we'll catch you again tomorrow.
Cheers.